Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. Thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's weather. Yes, I'm going to come right to the chase here. What is going on with this system in the Western Caribbean around July 1st, 2nd, and showing up in the Gulf of Mexico by the 4th of July? Just how plausible is this? Is it showing up on the European model as well? Well, we'll take a look and see if there's any chance of development along with your remnants of Cindy. We're showing anywhere from a 10 to 20% chance through day 7 here. But the big question is, regardless if it develops, we got a lot of tropical moisture feeding into southeast Canada. Is the Invest 93W off the north coast of the Philippines going to give way to any named typhoon anytime soon? I have the details later on in my weather segment. And the smoke is back for much of the Great Lakes, Midwest, Ohio Valley, and yes, the Northeast for Wednesday and Thursday. I've got all the details on your Canadian wildfire smoke. And is that East Coast blocking pattern about to give way to a massive July ridge? Let's get into it. So take a look at the Atlantic here. We have a couple features here. We don't have any storms at the moment, but this tropical wave moving through the Lesser Antilles will continue to watch. It's going to bring some heavy rain and some gusty winds. That's going to continue westward towards Puerto Rico. You can see bringing some rainfall towards Thursday into Friday here across Puerto Rico all the way to Hispaniola. So getting into some of those mountainous areas, a mudslide potential problem. We'll take a look at those rainfall amounts, but look at that. The moisture, before it can seem to reach Jamaica region here, it starts to get funneled up. You can see there's definitely some wind shear in the air here coming up towards the area of the remnants of Cindy. As we go in time, another tropical wave here tries to spin up here towards the 2nd. This was showing up, I'll show you momentarily on the European model as well. Look at this. This is by the 2nd. This really spins up pretty quickly. European, kind of give or take a day as well. I'll show you that momentarily. But look at the Cayman Islands. Here's Jamaica over here. This is some pretty heavy rains. We'll go into some rainfall amounts, potentials as well. This kind of moves towards the Gulf on the GFS here. So I'll show you what that outcome's looking like here on the European model. But look at that. That funnels up. Could this potentially be a system by July 4th into the Gulf of Mexico? This could potentially be an issue as we head in time. Yeah, it's showing up as a system on the GFS. I do caution you, though, this is out to July 5th. But Florida Panhandle, anywhere in the Eastern Gulf, yeah, you should be, from the Western Caribbean, Eastern Gulf. Please keep an eye as we continue to go over the next several days. Let's take a look at the European run. All right, so European model here, let's take a look. There's our system riding through the Lesser Antilles. There's the remnants here of what's left of Cindy. So we'll watch for that. The big story is going to be what's happening with our intertropical convergence zone here as we head from the Caribbean Islands. There's that rain there heading across Puerto Rico and Hispaniola towards the 28th. Remnants of Cindy there moving into our yellow shaded area. So yeah, there could be some sort of regeneration here of Cindy up toward just south of Nova Scotia. So we'll continue to watch for it here. Let's just continue to put this into motion. You can see the moisture funneling up there through parts of Nova Scotia. And our system here into Hispaniola starts to really wash out here. So, the moisture does make it a little bit further to the west towards Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Now, let's see if we show... Let's pop up our system here around the 1st of July. So, yeah, by this time, the moisture plume into southeast Canada from Cindy's pretty much mostly gone for the most part. But look at here. This is our next system. Does this have a chance of developing like the GFS showed? Well, let's see the European run here. European run's been pretty good so far this season. Here we go. So here towards the 2nd, this is where we start seeing a lot of heavy rain right over the Cayman Islands. And as we continue to go in time, that system starts to move towards the northwest. Now, it doesn't look near as impressive here onto the European model. And then here it is. So right around in the same location, Euro is further west and weaker. This is always the trend here with the Euro versus the GFS. GFS always being stronger and further to the east. And there it is. We get some tropical moisture up there across parts of Florida. But at this point, the European model does seem to lose it here by July 5th. So I'm a little skeptical of what the GFS is seeing this far out. We always have to be very skeptical of that trend. Nevertheless, the trend is for a wave to come out of the Western Caribbean, so we're going to keep an eye on that. So here we go. Let's take a look at the remnants of Cindy. So by the evening of Wednesday, around 8 p.m., look at here. Here is Bermuda. Look at the parade of moisture. So whether this develops or not, you can be guaranteed Nova Scotia up here is going to be the first target, because look at this moisture parade just heading right up through here, being funneled right up into this East Coast trough. And that's just going to continue through the 30th, the 1st of July. And look at that. It pinwheels over towards Newfoundland over here. Look at that. That is some craziness here. So yeah, whatever happens to this system, it's going to cause a lot of moisture here for southeast Canada. So do we have any dry air or dust to worry about here at mid-layers? Well, the Gulf of Mexico has been riddled with tons of dry air here, denoted on the really dark brown colors. Lots of moisture streaming north here with our remnants of Cindy. We have a system here that might try to develop into something behind the remnants of Cindy. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But it would be basically a fish storm. It would affect Bermuda a little bit here, but take a look at this. Moisture here into the eastern Caribbean. Watch as we go in time, though. What ends up happening here is the southern Caribbean, we have that area right around July 1st, so no dry air there. But look at this big mid-layer dust cloud here. That's going to be, inhibit any kind of major development. But there is our western Caribbean system here by July 2nd. There's our another system there that's caught east of Bermuda. Not expected to affect land, but it's there. It could develop here in the long run. And look at this, as we get towards July 2nd, there's that system there across the northwest Caribbean, but it has to get through all that dry air there into the Gulf of Mexico. And take a look out here into the MDR. The dust is really flaring up, so this could actually be why we're going to see a little bit of a downtick here over the next week or two. We'll have to see if that trend continues, but look at that. The Gulf of Mexico does start to moisten up at mid-layers, as does the western Caribbean here. So we might see some sort of system. We'll have to keep an eye on it here. Total precipitation here. Look at this in the Lesser Antilles. This takes us through Thursday and Friday. Yeah, you'll be picking up anywhere from 40 to 60 millimeters of rain. And look at this from Puerto Rico over to Hispaniola. This is where we'll get the 100 plus going. Watch this. Look how that cranks up towards the 80, 90, close to 100 plus here in parts of the mountains here. Thankfully, it doesn't get too far into Haiti. Look at Jamaica, though. Let's see when the day most of that falls. So that is, there we go, Friday into Saturday. So Friday night into Saturday here for Jamaica. We'll take a look at the Cayman Islands as well. But look at the rainfall here in Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. We are definitely getting close to that 100 millimeter mark. And as we go here into the Western Caribbean, take a look at this. So yeah, as we get towards the weekend, Cayman Islands, you're picking up close to 40, 50 millimeters of rainfall. Belize over here, yeah, you're going to pick up some rainfall as well out of some of these tropical waves. You'll be approaching 100 millimeters there in South Belize by early next week. So yeah, we're really going to start to ramp up the tropical moisture here for Central America. Look at that. Anywhere from 80 to 125 millimeters of rain. Here from the Cayman Islands, eastward towards Jamaica, you're averaging about 80 to 90 millimeters of rainfall. So we'll take a look at your future radar here. What is going on? So as we progress through, we're going to get into the late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning here. Yeah, we got some few thunderstorm complexes out here into the Central Plains, southeast Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma. Here in the northeast, we got a few showers and thunder showers behind the front. That's good news for the wildfires up here into Canada. It's just not enough to make too much of a difference, unfortunately. And you're going to be dealing, with a lot of smoke here from parts of the Midwest, the Ohio Valley into the Northeast. Look at this as we get towards the 28th. We get into Wednesday here. So we're at 6 p.m. here. You're still getting some showers and thunderstorms here into parts of New England. So let's just back that up. Those will actually fire across parts of the Hudson Valley, eastern Catskills towards 1 p.m. on Wednesday. And those will progress eastward here. Take a look at that. Yeah, you'll get a line of storms there approaching Boston by 9 p.m., but they will be weakening. That is the good news. And then here into the plains, you got a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity up here into parts of the north central plains. Drying out from the Ohio Valley into New York and Pennsylvania, but you will be suffocating with some smoke here. That's bad news. West of Indianapolis, though, watch out. We could see some strong to severe thunderstorms for the overnight hours of Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. So we'll see these thunderstorm complexes. That'll probably be welcome because the smoke, you'll be sick and tired of the smoke by then, but you will have to deal with some severe weather here. That is the only weather I can really see that's going to cause problems. Look at the northeast actually clear heading on into Thursday, except for parts of eastern New England and northern New England. We'll get some scattered showers and thunder showers developing. And here we go. We're getting into the northeast here for early Wednesday morning. You can see it's pushing across Ohio, western Pennsylvania, southern Ontario. This wildfire smoke continues to conglomerate across upstate New York as well. You can see it pushing towards the Susquehanna River Valley. It's not going to be, you're going to notice throughout the day, Wednesday night to Thursday, the air quality is going to continue to decline. There it is just before sunrise Thursday. It's pushing, you can see it's pushing here from Quebec, and then it's starting to push to the east here too. So we're going to get it from a few different directions here as we go in time, but the average wind speed is from the north, and look at this. We're going to start lining it up along the Interstate 81 corridor. You can see it coming down from the St. Lawrence River Valley. This is by Thursday, just after noon. And take a look at through the Midwest as well. Look at this through Wednesday, early Wednesday. Let's see, Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday evening into Thursday morning, look at it starts to come back to the north as we get that southerly wind. But yeah, we're really socked in with really bad air quality values here. So as we take a look at our synoptic flow here, as we head towards the weekend, here it is, the 30th of June into the 1st of July. This weekend, we got a lot of tropical moisture hanging out here across the east, and that's going to be the name of the game. I'll go over the rainfall amounts with you. So we will finally be pushing the smoke out of the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and the Northeast. And look at this, severe weather here towards July 1st, to kick off your long 4th of July weekend if you have one. Look at here into the Northeast as well. We're just continuing with that storminess. Look at into the 2nd as well, waking up to heavy rain here from the Ohio Valley. Look at that, Cleveland all the way over to New York State. We are socked in with rainfall here as we go into your Sunday. So this is not looking that great of a 4th of July weekend. Is there a chance we could get this out of the way by July 4th? Well, here's the 3rd. We're clearing out here in Cleveland and Columbus and Michigan and the Ohio Valley, but look at here into the Northeast. We still have this low pressure system winding up, but look at by the 4th. This is much better news. Let's just back that up to the 4th. Yeah, that is, if any day is going to be nice and good for your fireworks display, look at the 4th. It's actually clearing out quite nicely. There's that system showing up in the Gulf on the GFS. I have some more weather for you momentarily, but just a quick moment here before we continue. Here is a word from my affiliate. Take a look at this. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. So as we go in time here, take a look at that trough across the eastern United States. It's going to slowly wither away here, and we're going to give rise to a ridge. The trade-off there is you're going to get a southerly flow, more tropical flow. This is going to bring, unfortunately, some unsettled weather to kick off if you have a long 4th of July weekend. But look what's starting to move in here by Sunday, the 2nd here. You see this trough here. We're getting some ridging up here in Greenland, so that blocking pattern does appear to be coming back, and you can see that trough a little bit evident here July 4th here across the U.S. East Coast, but it's kind of coming from central part of Canada here, and that troughiness really starts to take effect in the center part of the country while we get a ridge building towards July 7th. So let's take a look at the CFS, our medium range climate model. We'll pick up kind of where the Euro left off here next week. Look at that ridge across the east through July 14th. you get these ripples of, troughs up here in Canada. This might be good for you for the wildfires up here in Quebec by mid-July. But look at that. We get a lot of ridge here across the east. So for those of you that are sick and tired of that East Coast trough, you get a few troughs here. But, that's expected this time of year. But look at that. For the most part, it seems like the ridge is outpacing the trough here for your month of July. So for our European run here, there's that trough lifting out across the northeast. Unfortunately, the north wind behind it with this high-pressure system is going to blast the smoke in and asphyxiate you, essentially. So yeah, here into New England, you'll kind of be a little bit immune to it at first because you'll get some scattered showers and thunder showers continuing into New England on Wednesday. But look at that. Yeah, Thursday, we're really setting up for disaster for smoke here. But look at severe thunderstorms here. As I showed you on the mesoscale model, Indiana southward to Tennessee and Kentucky, we're going to be looking at damaging wind, large hail, maybe the possibility of one of these mesoscale convective systems could get going. But look at this as we continue in time. Some of these big thunderstorm complexes here towards, Thursday night towards the Chicago area. Still dealing with smoke up here into parts of the Ohio Valley and Northeast, but we'll start to change the wind speed out of the south. Let's just back this up towards early Friday morning. Cleveland, you're getting some thunderstorms here. Thunder showers. That moves to New York and Pennsylvania by afternoon hours, and look at that. So, yeah, the Appalachians, Western Carolinas here, you could be under the gun for maybe some strong thunderstorms here. That's going to continue towards the east on Saturday. And yeah, we're going to get this strung out area of low pressure here across the Ohio Valley. Look at both sides, the north and the south side. You got a lot of lift here and tropical moisture to work with, and that's going to surge some tropical moisture into the Ohio Valley, into parts of the Northeast for Saturday, into Sunday here. Here's Sunday morning, Cleveland over to Pittsburgh. You're socked in with showers and thunderstorms likely. That just continues throughout the day on Sunday. Look at this. Yeah, this is an area of low pressure right over Washington, D.C., to the north and the west of it here. You're going to continue to see these showers and thunderstorms, and even down here into the Carolinas as well. So yeah, this is a strung out area of low pressure that we're just going to continue. But look at July 4th here. For the exception for South Jersey here, where we have a weak impulse here off the coast. It looks dry across the Ohio Valley to the northeast, but very stormy here across the southern plains as we continue in time here. Take a look at this into early Wednesday morning, July 5th. We have another run of showers and thunderstorms. It looks like some of these could be severe from Cleveland on eastward to Binghamton, New York, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and we kind of kick it off to the northeast here towards northern New England and finally start to clear it out towards July 7th. So here we go nationally here with the rainfall totals. You can see the lion's share is going to be from the central plains all the way to the northeast. We still get some here in the southeast, but you see your eyes are really drawn up here to the northeast and the central plains. That's where the biggest rainfall is going to fall all the way through the end of next week through July 7th. So let's take a look at rainfall amounts. Here's through Wednesday. So from eastern Ohio eastward here, we're averaging about tenth to a quarter of an inch. And as we progress this through Thursday, it's pretty dry across the northeast. And then we get into the weekend. Look what starts to happen here. So essentially what you have going on is you have that big tropical air mass reintroducing itself. And we're going to get some pretty heavy rains here from later Saturday, Sunday, and into parts of Monday here, early Monday. It dries out a little bit, and then we get a surge of moisture here, as you can see, piling on top of that for July 4th. So let's just recap this as we go backwards here. So yeah, Wednesday into Thursday, we're going to get some rain, more rain here in the Hudson River Valley, down towards the Catskills, Poconos, half an inch to an inch, all the way up through New England here. And look at this. We just continue to pile on this rainfall throughout the weekend here as we get a general 1 to as much as 3 inches there. There it is into the red zones. And some viewers sent in photos here. Derek Renschler from Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. This was on June 26. A massive hailstorm, high winds. Storm caused damage outside as well. I want you to hear some of the noise here. Let's take a look, see if we can get this. Nice capture there, Derek. That was quite a hailstorm to be had, and I can definitely see why there was some damage across the area. Nice capture. And Joe Drehos here with a heavy rainer from Johnson City this past Friday, June 23rd. This has been the name of the game here for the southern tier of upstate New York for the past several days, as we've been getting this tropical air mass and these torrential tropical downpours, especially in the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours. You get the daytime heating. This tropical moisture riding up this trough of low pressure, just keeping heavy rain in the forecast. You can easily get upwards of a half an inch to an inch of rain, literally, in just 15 minutes. Nice capture there, Joe. And out here into the Western Pacific, we have Invest 93W here. We'll keep an eye on it. It's right over the northern Philippines here. And as we continue to go in time here, take a look at this. This kind of rides up towards the northwest. It's going to bring some rain here, continuing to the northern part of the Philippine Islands here. Take a look at this right up. And then up towards the southern part of Taiwan here. So it's eventually going to bring some moisture to the Chinese coast as well a little bit. You can see there by the 28th as we get towards Wednesday evening here. So yeah, this thing's going to kind of hang out for a little bit, continuing to kind of stall here between the Philippines, Taiwan area. So as we zoom out a bit here on the European model, take a look at this. We're going to continue to get waves, those tropical waves moving across the Western Pacific in time here. So yeah, some of these may actually try to develop. There's a system here not really showing up too well here. We'll take a look at it on the GFS momentarily here. But as we continue to go in time, you can see that kind of moves into the southern part of the Philippines right around July 3rd. So this is a system we'll definitely have to keep an eye on. It's going to bring a tremendous amount of moisture with it as well. So if you have any plans during that time in the southern Philippines, things are not looking very good. As we continue to go across the rest of the Western Pacific, here on the European model, I don't really see any areas of major concern as we go in time, but this is the time of year that things can really spin up fast, and you start to see right around the Philippines by the July 7th. Things really start to get stormy here, especially across the northern part of the Philippines. So here on the GFS, here it is across the northern Philippines, our Invest system, the moving off the coast by the 28th, and the 29th. But look at that. It's a very slow progression here to the northwest and west of the northern Philippines here. So this tropical moisture is just going to hang out. It doesn't look like it intensifies very rapidly here. And then until we get to about July 1st, then it tries to form into some sort of possible system here. It is a very strung out area of low pressure, and then it starts to affect parts of the Chinese mainland here. You can see it a lot better here on the GFS as we head towards July 4th. Now, as we zoom out, it kind of gets caught up in the westerlies here. Is there any other systems of concern showing up here on the GFS? Well, it looks pretty clear here on the GFS with the exception for the northern Philippines, just like on the European model. So we're going to have to really keep an eye on here. Our trouble zone is appearing to be west of the Philippines here towards Taiwan and China as these systems head towards the west. So yeah, things look pretty quiet out here in the parts of the intertropical convergence zone, at least through July 8th. So as we get into the Eastern Pacific, we're dealing with Invest 92E right over here, just southeast of Acapulco. And look at over here, we have Tropical Storm Adrian, the first one of the season, finally here into the Eastern Pacific. We should be catching up here with an El Nino season. It should be cranking up here, and I expect it to. This storm is expected to become a hurricane. The one behind it, Invest 92E, will likely become a tropical storm. But look at this. Yeah, Adrian will really start packing a punch here. You can see it is not going to be any effect to land. That's great news. You can see here the Mexican coastline, Puerto Vallarta up here, Manzanillo here as well. Take a look at this. This storm is going to crank by the 29th, the 30th as we head towards the weekend. Look at this. And then it's going to head over cooler waters. The storm behind it, you can see, is actually going to go a little bit closer to the coast here. Acapulco might get some outer bands as this system moves to the northwest. So we'll have to see just how close to the coast this system gets. The GFS taking it towards the north here. So these resort towns, we're going to have to keep an eye on this for you. And we're really going to start cranking up this entire region here. You can see it really start to fill in. I'll show you momentarily here on the European model as well. And as you can see here onto the European model, showing a very similar picture here. Adrian blowing up into a hurricane, our system behind it as well. forming into a storm that will actually look like it will parallel the coast pretty on agreement here with the European model. So please, if you're in those resort towns, you might get some effects here. It doesn't look like landfall, though, and it kind of spins off towards a remnant low towards the southern tip of Baja California here. So as we go in time, we're going to continue to watch here this area of the Eastern Pacific. I expect we'll have many more storms here in the coming days. All right, so temperature-wise here, the heat is on here across the plains. Look at that, 100 degrees all the way up here into Kansas. That's crazy. Cooler weather, if you want it, is up here into the northeast for your Wednesday with the smoke, the clouds, and some precipitation as well. Look at the hundreds all the way up to Missouri. This is, you can see this is building east, this massive Omega Ridge here. And we're slowly warming it up here into the northeast. Watch for your Friday. Look at this. We're getting near 90 in parts of interior Pennsylvania, into parts of interior New England. But look at this area of 100s pushing to the north. Just south of Chicago, you're getting into the 100s. Look at Florida as well, baking into the mid to upper 90s. Crazy, crazy, crazy here. Look at into the west as well. You're baking hundreds pushing up towards the Ohio River Valley. That is some craziness right there. Low to mid 80s across the northeast for your Saturday. As we get into Sunday, we get a little bit of a cooler push here behind it. Look at that, Cleveland 78, 79 in Rochester. So we get a little bit of a cool push here to cool us off a bit. Texas and Florida, Arizona, California, you're all baking as we go through Monday, July 3rd here, the day before the 4th. Hope most of you have it off. We're in the 80s here in the Northeast. We're kind of moderating, if you can call mid to upper 90s, moderating here into parts of Texas and parts of the Deep South. Extended outlook from our hometown viewers. Bring them to Scranton's upper Susquehanna River Valley of New York and Pennsylvania. Smoke Wednesday and Thursday behind the front. We get those northerly winds aligned from the Canadian wildfire smoke. Those air quality alerts are in place. Please heed those. These temperatures might not actually make it to 71 or 77. I've bumped those temperatures down into the lower to mid 70s on Wednesday into Thursday, upper 70s. It may even end up being cooler depending on where you are due to the smoke. We may have a shower or thunderstorm Wednesday, but the smoke is going to be obscuring most of that. Friday, we have the wind switch back out of the south. Look at that. We rocket up near 90 degrees, a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. But the unfortunate thing is for Saturday and Sunday to kick off your 4th of July weekend, if you have a long one, showers and thunderstorms are likely. As always, thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Take a look at the links down below. I have my affiliate link for Trilogy maps, so if you want to get some of those, I do make a commission off those. I just wanted to disclose that, but go ahead and use the code MeteoMark to save 20%. Also, visit my Hurricane 2023 Outlook if you haven't already. Link at the end of this video and description down below. Don't forget Facebook MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern for my tropical page, and MeteoMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com, Twitter at WeatherEastern. Thank you for joining me.